This is Miss Lizzie, and I want to welcome you to the Queen Lizzie podcast. Together, we will go through the history of Rosewood, Florida, and watch as the once prosperous town rises out of the bloodshed, fire, and ash to reveal the people, the memory, and the legacy of Rosewood. Watch every Thursday on Facebook and YouTube, or listen to our story on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Hello, everybody. I am Lizzie Robinson Jenkins, representing not only the Rosewood Foundation, but the personal testimonies and history of cherished friends and family. You are now watching the Queen Lizzie podcast. Today, we're talking with Reverend Willie Mayberry, my good friend.
Yes.
For years.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
It's
an honor to be here.
And it's an honor to have you here.
Thank you, dear.
Yes, and we have been knowing each other for
Oh, my
years.
goodness. Oh, yes.
And we
Yes.
have been working together for years, trying
Definitely.
to make a difference.
Definitely. Even when the odds they thought was against us,
Yes,
we persevered and
we-
still persevering.
we did. We really did. And Reverend Mayberry, where are you? Are you retired? Or you are pastoring a church still?
Well, I retired in 2017,
Okay.
and of course, I thought I was gone for good, retired, but I stayed out 17 months
Okay.
and was called back.
Okay.
And I am back now, still trying to get things together and working through. And of course, I've said to the church, I said, now when I leave this time,
Yes.
that's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you're still hanging in there.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah.
That's important. Because
Staying in the fight.
staying in the fight. The
Mhm.
battle is yet,
That's right.
okay, to be won.
Yeah.
But anyway, we appreciate that
Thank
so
you.
very much.
Thank
And it
you.
is, and like I said, it's an honor to invite you. And what I like and what I remember about you,
Mhm.
as long as I have been knowing you, the hymns that you would line, they would tell our stories from years
Mhm.
ago. Like some of these songs were written by enslaved
Right.
African Americans or
Right.
blacks,
Right.
okay?
Right.
And we have carried them on. And
Right.
I told you I was going to ask you to sing this,
Oh,
favorite,
my goodness.
my favorite song.
You said that was Father, I Stretch My
Father,
Hand.
I stretch my hand to thee.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you know what? When I was going to church, a little girl, my dad was the chairman of the deacon board. And basically, he would allow me to do anything. When I was 14, I said to my dad, Dad, can I line this hymn? I know it's a line, but
Right,
I said,
line.
can I line this hymn?
Yes.
And he said yes. The other deacons did not like it. He put that book in my hand.
Especially a female.
Yes, exactly.
A child and a
Yes,
female.
and a female. That was
Yeah.
a no. But Dad gave me that book, and I think the song I did was Father.
Oh, yeah. Long me there. Yeah.
Said.
Yeah.
That's your song, right?
That's one of the
That's
of the
one
ones.
of yours.
And and of course you can do it in different meters and different ways
Yeah.
of doing it.
You don't hear people talking about it today. It
No.
was like I said, Dad, should I do it in CM or SM?
Yes,
Am I right?
long meter, common meter, short meter.
Yes.
Yes,
See?
yes.
See, you don't hear that these days.
And no, because we lost that.
Yes.
It has not been continued and taught. And so the young pastors, the young ministers, that is far-fetched from them. They
Yes.
do not know. But that was one of the requirements.
Exactly.
I remember when I was being ordained, they would have a ministers group council to ask you a question. And one of the things was you had to line the hymn.
Exactly.
And then you had to line it into different meters.
Right.
And it was mandatory and required if you were a pastor
Right.
or if you mounted the pulpit.
Mm-hmm.
It was expected from you to be able to line the hymn.
Exactly.
And not only line it, but to raise it.
Exactly. And it was a different tone.
Different tone, and for an example, your favorite one, Father, I stretch my hand to thee, like the one that you did, the long version of it. It says, Father, I stretch. Now that's the long version.
Okay.
But then there's another version. Father, I stretch my hand to thee.
Yes.
No other help I know. And now in the 21st century, if you do find one, they may do the C.L. Franklin version, and that is, Father, I stretch my hand to thee. No other help I know. Now that was the C.L. Franklin version.
Yes.
And I know everybody know how to read now, but that's a part of history that we shouldn't walk away from.
We shouldn't.
And one thing about history reflects and take you back to the past.
Yes.
And history is so important.
Yes.
God noted that it was so important, and that's why he told Israel, teach your children and your children's children my laws, put it around your neck, put it on your clothing, put it on the doorpost, put it inside your homes, because I want them never to forget me and never forget how I brought you out of Egypt. Well, they didn't do it. They didn't remember.
Okay.
And so they forgot it. So if you do not teach your history, if you don't embrace it, you'll forget it. But here's the danger. You will repeat the mess
Rosewood
that was in the history.
That's right. That's right. Definitely. And what was so amazing about that, those deacons had to learn.
Listen.
You couldn't mount that pulpit.
You had to learn it.
You had to learn the
And many of them couldn't read it, but they had to learn it by memorization. And many of the preachers, pastors couldn't read, but they had to learn it by memorization.
Exactly. And it meant a lot.
Even the word.
Yes.
If the preacher could not read, he would listen to what was being said and read, and he would memorize it.
Exactly. Exactly. And I remember the first prayer my dad taught me, because sometimes the deacons pray long prayers. My dad would teach us the shortest prayer. He said, this is the most important prayer. 3 words: Lord, have mercy. See,
he was way ahead of his time.
Yes, you already knew that.
Way ahead of his time.
And that's a full course prayer. You don't have to add all of the adjectives.
That'll get it. You don't have to go that route.
You sure don't. Yeah, Lord, have mercy. And you can reverse that and say, have mercy, Lord.
That's right. It's not the length, but it's the quality.
It's the quality. Oh, say it again.
It's not the length, but it's the quality.
Right. And there are groups out there, Rev, that send me, they call them group something, but they send scriptures. I don't know who is writing these scriptures. They're not all scriptures. They're
Yeah.
messages.
Yeah.
Don't send me your messages.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy, it's my message.
Yes.
Okay, it takes care.
Yeah. Yeah.
It takes care
Yeah.
of us. And I'm so glad you're here talking about what we grew up doing.
Right.
Okay, because that was our way of survival, and people may
It-
not believe in prayer.
And
It works.
and it's just, you know, and we out of all people,
Mm-hmm.
we out of all people. Now, many may criticize me for saying this,
Say it anyway.
but I don't know of any color,
Mm-hmm.
a race of people on the face of the earth
Mm-hmm.
who suffer, who have suffered,
Exactly.
are suffering any more than we are.
Exactly.
We got to get this thing together.
We have to get.
We got to do better.
We have to, and right now is the perfect time for us to get better because we're getting worse.
21st century, and we're in the root. It just.
Going back.
I was at the Family Dollar store. I had two incidents,
Mm-hmm.
back to back. One day, one the other day. This happened Friday. I went to get some cat food, and I was there at the Family Dollar,
Mm-hmm.
and the ladies knew me, but I didn't know them. And I get to the cash register. The gentleman at the register was calling another employee to come forward. And he was like one of us, and the other guy is one of us. And so when the guy came up there, and he's just using the profanity, this S ain't working.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm old, gray-headed man with a walking
Mm-hmm.
cane. The other young lady, she's about 50-something. And I said, listen, young man.
Mm-hmm.
I says, this is a lady,
Mm-hmm.
and you are using that kind of profanity?
Yeah.
I said, let me tell you something. My children have never heard me curse.
Mm-hmm.
And the young lady said, my children haven't either. And do you think he stopped? He said it again in defiance. He said it again.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you know what? And I wouldn't shut my mouth, but I probably, the lady stopped, changed the conversation, because you could get killed.
Right.
And
That's
you have to
true.
be very careful.
You have to.
Because some of these people, they'll kill you in a minute.
Right.
So I said, you know what? I wouldn't want anybody using that kind of language in the presence of my mama.
Exactly.
And so she changed the conversation. And from a psychological point of view, and the spirit, I knew what she was doing. She was
Exactly.
changing the conversation.
Right.
Now that's that particular incident. And Saturday, I'm going home, coming through Mount Carmel. There was a young man
Mm-hmm.
walking with his pants below
Mm-hmm.
his buttock,
Okay.
and I could see the actual seat of his underwear.
Yes. Don't say anything. What did you
That's
say?
just. And I started to roll the window down and said, pull them pants up, you nasty rascal. But we're at that point, and you know, in order to say something,
Mm-hmm.
you better be at the point to say, well, I may not come out alive
Exactly.
after I'm saying what I got to say.
Because they are different. They are different, and it starts at home, Rev. Okay?
And here's the thing. A lot of folks doesn't appreciate my conversation because I'm direct. I don't sugarcoat stuff. Folks on the other side of the railroad track, for an example, in our churches, we count. You ask a pastor or member, how many members y'all got? What we do is we count heads.
Okay.
That's our thing. We count heads.
Right.
Blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But on the other side of the railroad track, they don't count heads. They count families.
Okay.
the strength
Yes.
of this thing
Yes.
got to be in the hands of families.
That's true.
The charge is we got to get these guys back in the house.
Right. Right. And that's what we're
Dealing
going to
and
talk
raising these young men and dealing with these. We need families.
about. Exactly.
And that's what God endorsed. Families.
Families, that's right. And we are no longer as
Families.
family oriented as we were
These
years
guys,
ago.
These guys and families, these homes, they're missing that male and female presence.
Exactly.
You gotta have that. Now the lady, she can't be the man. Now she may be operating in an area that she's not called.
Right. Or comfortable. Okay.
But she has to do what she has to do. Somebody has to do.
Somebody has to do it.
But it's not designed that way.
Exactly. And after the break, that's what we're going to come back and we're going to talk about a charge. And then we're going to talk about the charges because you got to sing that hymn for me. Okay? Okay, that's about time for our first half. We are going to head to a quick break. And we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Meldon Law has been serving personal injury victims since 1971. In those days, Jeffrey Meldon's presence as an attorney in the music scene dubbed him with the nickname the Hippie Attorney. And although times have changed, two things haven't: our commitment to bettering our community by helping the injured,
Albert, are you ready to go to the game?
and our love for the Florida Gators.
If you bleed orange and blue, Meldon Law is the firm for you.
I am Black History.
I am Rosewood Black History. I am Florida and America's Black History, and you are too.
January 1st, 1923, the KKK insurrectionists attacked Rosewood, killing 5, burning it down.
Because a white woman lied and cried, a black man assaulted me. Rosewood redevelopment is on its way.
Want to help? Visit rosewoodflorida.com.
Welcome back to Queen Lizzie Podcast, brought to you weekly from the Steve Spurrier Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. We are here with Reverend Willie Mayberry. The Queen Lizzie Podcast is brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union, live from the Meldon Law Gator Studios at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Special thanks to Greg Bradley, Allstate Insurance. And before the break, we were talking about my favorite hymn that I love to hear you sing. A charge. Was it a charge to keep our hand?
It was Father, I stretch
Father,
my hand.
I stretch my hand to thee.
Yes.
So you're going to sing that song for us? You don't have to sing it all, but just let us
Just give
know.
you a little
Just
feel
give
of
us
it.
a feel of it.
All right. Now you want the version that you did when you was a child, right?
Oh, well, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. All right. I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll do the C.L. Franklin version.
Okay, perfect.
Father, I stretch my hand to thee. No other help I know. If thou withdraw thyself from me, oh, there shall road. Yeah, it's nothing like the old Negro hymns.
I know, perfect.
Oh yeah,
perfect,
that's two
perfect.
things about church. Let me tell you something. You can't beat us singing,
Uh-huh.
and you can't beat us preaching.
Exactly.
I don't care what anybody said. Yeah, I
I
understand
know.
David Jeremiah,
Uh-huh.
Billy Graham, and Evie, and all those kind.
Okay.
But you can't beat the black preacher preaching.
Okay, and they
Educated
get it.
or educated or uneducated.
Exactly, and they are trying to do what we have done. Not only with
Ron Parsley and those guys and those gals, they
know.
try to mimic our singing. They try to mimic
Dancing.
our preaching, and some of them doing a pretty good job of it.
Exactly. Our
They're coming
dancing.
into our churches doing revivals and meetings.
Exactly. But that's who we are. We are trailblazers. We are trailblazers, and we are, what is it, some kind of setting.
That's right.
Okay, we set examples and they follow.
And you
but
can't
that's okay.
beat us working.
We built this country.
You can't beat us working.
Blood, either sweat, muscle, blood-soaked tears. This is our history. This is our country.
That's right.
Okay? And we are sharp inventors, and everything we have done, many times they claimed it and
That's
patented
right.
it and called
That's
it
right.
theirs.
That's right.
But some of it they could not. And there were good slave masters or slave owners back there that made sure we were credited for what we did.
Somebody came up with this thing talking about yogurt and put the colored flavor in it, the different color. I said, that's nothing but old clabber milk.
That's exactly what it is.
That's all it is.
Exactly. That's
And they
exactly
making
what
me
it is.
nothing but clabber milk.
Clabbered milk. That's what we
We
drank.
were drinking and eating that when
I
we were
know,
children.
putting sugar in it. Okay? and if you say clabber milk, what is clabber milk?
What is clabber milk?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, we have all been trailblazers.
Oh,
Okay?
oh Lord.
All of our lives, and I appreciate that so very
Yeah.
much. And it's always good to share, because I tell people this history is not about us, me. It's about us coming together, working together, and
That's
making
right.
things better. So that's what
right.
we need to do now. We don't need to divide, and I feel that so strongly, and I know you do too. Changing and blocking history.
Because
You
we all
can't-
brothers and sisters.
Thank you.
We all came from the same blood.
Okay. Okay.
We came, everybody, if you're a human being,
Right.
you came from Adam and you came from Eve.
Exactly.
So that makes us brothers and sisters.
Exactly. And we know it. And
You
we'll-
can't deny that.
You can't deny it, and we don't allow that to stop us. We keep moving
That's right.
forward, and as you say, they can't block it. And this is what happened in Rosewood, Rev. The blacks majority.
Yes.
Okay, blacks were progressing. They were progressing, and they said, hey, we need to slow this down. So the famous lie that always has happened over the years to block, to cause confrontation, paid off or worked in Sumner, when this young lady pretended she was being,
Oh, yeah.
harassed, and they burned the town
Definitely.
down. But that has not slowed us. Mom said, you do the research. My mother's sister, you knew my mother very
Yes.
well.
Yes.
And by the way, let me tell you who my mother is. My mom is famous too.
Yes.
And I don't remember the year right now, but anyway, she is the chief that designed and was the chief for 8 years and built the Female Protective Society. And Reverend Mayberry was right there,
I was right
almost every day
I was
working
right there.
hand in hand with
I
her.
saw the struggle. I remember when
The storm
building
came
and
blew it
collapsed,
down,
and that
collapsed.
was an awful day.
Exactly, but that didn't stop them.
No. And they wanted a place because as time moved forward, the women became brave
Right,
and did not suppress their calling.
right,
But they didn't have the freedom to operate. They had to sit back.
right.
And so the purpose was, we want us a building
Right,
where we don't have to step back
right. And my mom
under
had
no
that vision.
circumstance. Yes.
She had the vision, and she had great workers with
Yeah.
her too. And I would love to see it become, see it named after her. She deserves it. Her name is on the cornerstone as the, okay, chief.
Right.
Okay, and she was the chief for 8 years. And I'm not stepping on anybody's toes, but truth and honor. She needs the honor. She's my mother, of course, but she needs to be honored with that building in her name. She used some of Daddy's money, and Mr. Green, remember Mr. Green?
Yes. We
was-
call him Sun Green, English.
English
Green,
Green was
yeah.
right there with her. Burl Rutledge was right there with
Right
her.
there in
helping.
the forefront, working, making sure that
Exactly.
it got done, because the men, those guys were there helping because they needed that help.
They needed that help. My dad and other
Yeah.
husbands were there. So I just thought I would give her that shout out, since this is
Yeah.
a history conversation. Yeah.
It's a history moment. And it's and I was talking about Rosewood. I carried my seniors. I carried 3 groups of seniors who had never seen the Rosewood area, never been in that area. It's amazing the number of people who have not been in that Rosewood area. And I carried them there in that Rosewood, and because we couldn't get to the store,
Right.
the house, historical house, but we got out there, and as soon as you hit the ground, you get a feeling
Oh my God.
that just go all over you, just come all over you. You get a presence, you get a feeling. And it reminds me of when Cain killed his brother Abel,
Okay.
and God came and was checking it out. And God told Cain that your brother blood is crying out
Oh my God. Okay.
to me.
Right.
And I felt that at that place. You here it is, all these years,
But the spirit
but
and
that
the energy
spirit
and that blood and energy
still
is
there.
still there. I took a group down Saturday, and one man, older guy, the last thing he said to me, he said, I've never been to Rosewood, never heard about it. He said, but you touched my heart.
That's the
Tears.
blood
Yes.
that's what it is.
Yes.
It crying out that connection.
Yes.
And even though you cannot kill now
The spirit.
spirit, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And people say Martin Luther King, well, the dream. Martin Luther King did more than dream. He was a dream doer.
Yes.
And the Rosewood descendants, they came out of Rosewood,
Right.
but that progressive spirit did not die.
Of course. And my mom.
Your mother,
Yes.
look, she led the largest female
Exactly.
black group in this county, the
Exactly.
Female Protection.
Yes.
And
she
at
did.
that time, it was strong. They had, the numbers were stronger than it is presently.
Yes.
But the thing it is, the progressive,
Yes. Yes.
isn't
And
that
she-
amazing?
That's amazing. She was a leader, 8th grade education. Because I'm here today,
But
it's
she,
her work.
progressive.
That's right.
And your
It's
father,
her.
progressive.
Yes, yes.
In fact, folks need to take a look at Archer.
Yes,
Is there anything good can come out? You'd be surprised.
yes. Because
Some of the
teacher-
connection,
Right,
the
teacher,
teachers,
she was from
the
Archer.
connection.
The Rosewood teacher was from Archer, my mom's sister.
Loretta Duncan,
Yes,
connection.
exactly.
The Carnegie family, the connection.
Exactly.
And we can go on and on and on.
The Hunt
Connection.
from Newburgh. They're from Archer. All of these people, the Carnegies, went to church with us. Okay?
The connection.
Yes. Yes.
The Browns.
Yes.
The Browns.
Yes. Uh-huh.
The Moss family.
Yes.
The connection.
Yes.
And the progression.
The
It didn't stop.
Natills. And we can go
We can go
on
on and on. Is there anything good can come out of Archer? The Robinson.
Yes. Uh-huh. The Browns. Okay? The McIntyres, who owned 159 acres in.
What?
I'm going to have you back.
Yes.
Because my time.
Because
is
we'll
running
go
out.
on.
I know.
We'll be talking till Jesus comes.
Exactly. I'll have to have you
Okay,
bring
yes.
you back. But
Yes.
anyway, I just want to say about Rosewood.
Yeah.
If you're interested in making a donation, you can go to rosewoodflorida.com, and that's Rosewood, www.rosewoodflorida.com, and you can leave a donation because as we speak, Rev, we are building a museum in
That's right.
Archer.
That's right.
And it's going to be named after the Rosewood
That's
school
right.
teacher, Mahalda
That's
Gussie Brown Carrier, cultural museum.
Yes.
And hopefully by the 102nd anniversary, which is January coming up, I want to host a program
Yes.
out there. And I want you to sing that song.
I will be there. I'll bring my church.
Oh,
We'll be there.
wonderful, wonderful. We
We'll
would
be there.
love it
be
very
there.
much. But anyway, is it anything else you would like to say?
I'm just so honored to be here, and regardless, I did a Bible study. Can God use the elderly? I don't care how young or how old you are. And many of us, we got gray hairs, we slowing down and stuff like that. But we got to stay in the fight.
We got to stay in the fight. Nothing is wrong with our
Caleb
mind.
says he was
Yes.
85 years old. He
Okay.
says, I'm just as powerful and young as I was. But physically, he wasn't, but in his mind.
Exactly.
And you know what? Let this mind that is in Jesus be in you.
Exactly.
We got to stay in the fight. We can't give up because we had too many people die
Yes. Yes.
for the privileges that we are enjoying now.
Thank you. So.
And your
true.
church is not too big.
No.
Your pastor shouldn't be too big.
Right.
You're not too big.
Right.
Your education, your degree on the wall
Exactly.
shouldn't be so big. Or your non-degree, you shouldn't be so big. That
Exactly.
we don't stay in the fight.
We need to stay in the fight.
That's
and I'm
right.
going to assign you
That's
as a
right.
leader for the ministers
That's right.
to help Rosewood get from point A to point B, keep our history, because it's the next generation. The younger people will have to carry it forward
Right.
and make sure it
Right.
does not
Right.
repeat. So thank you so
Thank you,
very
my
much.
dear.
And I will see you tomorrow. Okay?
That's right. We'll be at the
I'm coming to your
Congress.
workshop.
All right.
At the
all right.
Congress.
Oh,
I will
wow.
see you. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right. I
All
am
right.
continuously humbled, honored, and blessed to meet people daily and invite them to join in peace building, healing, and reconciliation through learning about the history of Rosewood. That will wrap up today's episode. I am Queen Lizzie. Until next time, this is my Rosewood story, and I'm sticking to it.
Thank you.